Well, greetings, my scattered brothers and sisters in the Lord. Hope you're having a great day. I'm a little bit in recovery mode myself after being up in the mountains at men's retreat this past weekend, but looking forward to getting back to the Gospel of John here. We move into a new section in John today. We move into 119 and following. We get a little bit of the ministry of John the Baptist, and this is the beginning of the Gospel of John telling us the story of Jesus. Verses 1 through 18, that was all kind of a reflection on who Jesus is as the Son of God and what God was doing in Jesus. Well, when we move into verse 19 of chapter 1, that's where the story begins of Jesus' ministry and eventually his death and then his resurrection. And John, like the other gospel writers, when he starts with the story of Jesus' ministry, he actually begins with the story of John the Baptist and his ministry. John the Baptist is the forerunner of Jesus. So John is out in the wilderness to the east of Jerusalem, Jordan River, and he's baptizing people. And the leadership in Jerusalem, they wonder what John's doing out there, why people are going out to see him. And so they send a delegation out with some questions. And they ask John basically who he is and what he's got to say for himself. John confesses that he is not the Christ, not the Messiah, not the anointed one, that he's not out there to save anyone. He confesses that he is not Elijah, he's not the prophet that everyone was expecting or hoping would come. He simply says that he is a voice of one crying out in the wilderness to make straight the way for the Lord. He's quoting Isaiah at that point, and that's his answer to the question of who are you and what do you have to say about yourself? I'm a voice that's crying out to people to get ready to receive the coming of the Lord. Well, with this response, that delegation has another question for John. Uh, why are you baptizing people? Why are you doing what you're doing out here, baptizing people? And John doesn't give them a direct answer. He simply says that among you there is one that he is not worthy to stoop down and untie his sandals. John's implying that the Messiah is come. And John hasn't seen him yet, but he's saying that he's here and he's standing among you and that you don't recognize him. But John's work is to get people ready to receive him. So I've been thinking about those questions. Who are you? What do you have to say about yourself? And why are you out here doing what you're doing? Those are questions we all have to answer. Who am I? And what do I have to say about me? And why am I doing what I'm doing? Well, I wonder if John might give us a guide in terms of how best to answer those questions. See, John understands who he is and what he does, first and foremost, in relationship to Jesus. He could have answered the question, who are you? Oh, I'm Zechariah, Elizabeth's son. Or I'm from, name the place, Jerusalem. He could have answered the questions that way, but instead he answers the question in terms of his relationship to Jesus. I'm a voice preparing people, trying to prepare people to receive the Lord, to receive Jesus. And in terms of, why are you doing what you're doing? His answer implies that he's doing what he's doing so that they would hopefully recognize Jesus in their midst, God's answer to their prayers. Maybe I should answer those questions that way. That who am I? Well, first and foremost, I have to understand myself in terms of my relationship to Jesus. Yes, I could answer I'm Fonda's husband. I'm the father of Rebecca, Rachel, and John Mark. I'm the son of Reuben and Martha. I could answer that question in lots of ways. Who am I and what do I have to say about myself? But the most important self-understanding, the one that should take precedent over all other kind of self-understandings, is my relationship to Jesus. That I am one who has been saved by Jesus. I am one who has been called by Jesus. That I am one that I'm a child of God because of Jesus. And then in terms of why am I doing what I'm doing, whether that be teaching, whether that be preaching, whether that be going on a men's retreat or playing basketball or working on a project somewhere, whatever it might be, that the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing is because of Jesus. And hopefully that my life will enable others to come to recognize who Jesus is and is actually in some way, by the power of the Spirit, preparing people to receive Jesus and to follow Jesus. So I challenge you to spend a little bit of time just thinking about those questions. Who are you? What do you have to say about yourself? And why are you doing what you're doing? And my prayer is that, like John, we will be able, you will be able, I will be able to answer those questions first and foremost in terms of our relationship with Jesus. Have a great day and answer the questions well. Know who you are in reference to Jesus. God bless.